Hi, welcome back to 5 Minutes in the Word with Redeemed Girl Ministries, and I'm Marian Jordan Ellis. Today we look at a name of God that is an activity, but it also is a characteristic, and it's my God is my rest. Now, I just say the word rest and I want to go take a nap, but there's a deep theological significance to this word. It's more than he's just the place that we lay down our head, but there's a deep theological point that God is trying to make for us to understand this characteristic about him. Now, for starters, there's two schools of thought when it comes to how you and I can have a relationship with God. The first school of thought, which I would say all world religions fall into, is that we can know God and we can have a relationship with him through work. Now that work could be keeping a certain set of laws or doing some activities, but whatever it is, if it's Hinduism, if it's Islam, if it's Mormonism, whatever it is, there's a list of rules, and many Christians believe this as well. There's a list of rules that you have to keep in order to please and be right with God. Now that is a works-based system. And what happens in that? Well, if you're good at keeping the law one day, then you feel good about yourself and you feel prideful. But if the next day you've blown it, then you feel shame and you feel guilt. The works-based system never makes us right with God, because here's the thing: we can never achieve perfection. We can never climb the ladder high enough to reach God's holiness. So God came up with a completely different system. It's called the way of grace, and it's called the way of rest. And this system is where his son came and lived the perfect life for us, where he fulfilled the law for us. And what you and I do is we lean back into Jesus and we rest in his finished work. And we say, with Jesus, when Jesus said, "It is finished," we believe and rest in the fact that his righteousness is our righteousness, his perfection is our perfection, and he has done all the work to make us right with God. See, those two schools of thoughts could not be more different. And the first way, the work way, makes us feel striving and performing and fearful that we will never be good enough. But the rest way, the grace way, it gives us joy, it gives us peace, and it does exactly what it says. It gives rest to our souls, because we don't look at ourselves, we look at Jesus. Now, this is the context of the verse we're looking at this week, where Jesus says in Matthew 11, verses 28 through 30, he says, "Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and humble in heart, and you will find rest for your souls. For my yoke is easy and my burden is light." Now, I just imagine the audience of that day hearing this, because they were in a very deeply religious culture. Not only did they have the 10 Commandments, but on top of that, the religious leader added hundreds and hundreds of laws to the people, so much so that they were burdened down and they could not keep it, and they never had assurance that they were right with God. They never had assurance that they were beloved by God or had his favor. So here comes Jesus on the scene, and he says, "Come to me. Come to me. I will finish the work. I will make you right. And as you come to me, I will give you rest." So for all of us, there is that old voice in our head that always says, I have to do better, I have to be better, I have to try harder. And that voice is always going to make us fearful, and it's going to make us strive, it's going to make us perform, and it's going to make us feel like God doesn't love us if we're not perfect. Well, we can tell that voice to shut up, because Jesus has told us, "Come to me." And when we come to Jesus, here's what we get. We get grace. We get him saying, "It is finished, your sin is paid for." And then we can have rest, or what the Bible calls shalom, for our souls. My God is my rest.